Speaking of your Cowboys and what happened to them last night, we got a little bit of late breaking news right before we went off here live. QB news in Arizona, according to Adam Schefter, the Cardinals are sticking with quarterback Jacoby Brissett as their starter for Sunday's game in Seattle. Jonathan Gannon said he likes where the offense is going right now. He said that this gives them clarity on a short week before they play against the Seattle Seahawks this Sunday. So, Ray, what do we think? Jacoby Brissett, after tearing up your Cowboys last night, gets another start here.
I mean, just look at the graphic on the screen right now. If you would have told me at the beginning of the season the best option offensively would be the Brissett, Bam Knight, Emiri DeMarcado backfield, I'd say you're crazy. Where's Kyler? Where's Trey Benson? Where's James Conner? Yet we saw on Monday night a quarterback that looks like he needs to continue to play. He looked great. And more importantly for us, the things that we wanted, the fantasy weapons offensively, they did their job. And it could have even been a bigger day had he connected with Trey McBride for the touchdown and a couple of other throws here or there. But 260 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 1 rushing TD. And he got the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride. I believe there was a stat, one of the few, Tony Gonzalez and Travis Kelce is the only tight ends to go 5 receptions in 10 straight games. There's some stat like that for Trey McBride. Like this is good. If you are a Jacoby Brissett truther, if you are a fan of Marvin Harrison Jr., if you've got Trey McBride, I'm just sitting back scratching my head saying, what happened? Like I asked you, man, I was like, was Kyler that bad? Like was it that bad in Arizona to where they've made this move to Jacoby Brissett, the backup quarterback? This is good for our weapons, but man, this is wild.
Yeah, it is wild. And Schefter just followed up with a report here that Kyler Murray and the Cardinals have consulted with multiple doctors on his foot injury and have been told the timetables for recovery could be anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks with an increased chance of setback until it's properly healed. Now Murray is going to have more time to heal. I know that I have gotten annoyed at the term soft benching, over the course of the NFL season, and it has gotten a little irritating. It's like, oh, Bryce Young has a high ankle sprain. They're soft benching him for Andy Dalton. Give me a break. No, they're not. They're not doing that. This one here in Arizona, though, is on my radar, and the fact that it's a little bit of a it's framed as Kyler Murray and the Cardinals have been consulting with multiple doctors. I'm not saying that this is a fake injury or anything like that. But I think that both of these parties, and look, I just went on a long tirade about this on yesterday's show on the solo Monday Night Football recap. So people, if you listen to that or you watched that, you already kind of know my full grand thoughts on this whole offense and this whole situation. I think this is a sign that both parties know that the divorce that I think this group needs from each other is inevitable. There is a 0% chance, at least in my mind, as we sit here right now on November 4th, that Kyler Murray is back with the Arizona Cardinals next year. I think it's over. I think it's over with him with the Cardinals. And it is certainly, now it's just, is this coaching staff coming back? And are they starting over at quarterback under their watch? That's the question now, because to me, I think that Kyler knows he doesn't work in this offense. I think that this offensive coaching staff knows he does not fit the offense. And what Jacoby Brissett has done for the last 3 games, like, let's not forget, they were second in the NFL in passing yards per game in the first 2 games that Brissett started. It wasn't just, hey, they tore up the Cowboys last night. Everybody tears up the Cowboys. I understand that. That caveat can be applied. But the offense just runs smoother with Brissett because they're able to get under center. They're able to throw the ball over the middle of the field. That big dig route where Michael Wilson caught and run the thing, that was proof of concept of what I've been talking about since Marvin Harrison got drafted. Like, those are the throws this offense wants to hit, off play action under center, that Kyler's just not comfortable doing. Like, I think there is an offense out there that fits Kyler Murray. It's just not this one. So going forward, I think it is a big win for Harrison. It is a big win for Trey McBride. And I think that we'll see like what this offense can look like as maybe Brissett can be their bridge quarterback to the next era. But I do think that this signals that Murray's time as a starting quarterback in Arizona is most likely over here, Ray.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it would take a catastrophic failure from Jacoby Brissett for them to go back, right? They just, what we saw from him, that throw to Wilson, it wasn't just that it was a good throw. I believe it was the first play after halftime. It was play action. Brissett had to step up in the pocket, and you thought it would be McBride or Harrison, but it was Michael Wilson. But you saw that throw, and that one was like the gut punch. Like, oh man, they're hitting that. You know what I mean? Like, that's just wide open for the taking. This is, people. I don't even want to call it a soft benching. I think you just nailed it. Like, he just fits better, and it doesn't mean Jacoby Brissett is the long-term answer for the Arizona Cardinals. I also don't believe that's true. I don't think he's the long-term answer for Arizona. But Kyler's probably somewhere else in 2026. So for this season, for where we're at right now, and Matt, we talked about this. We talked about this on last week's Data Dump. Like, is this the spot for Marv to get right? This is the spot for Marv to get right. But I think it was bigger than just Marv. Like, the offense looked good. They didn't force feed Marv. He didn't get 20-something targets like Jamar Chase. They still threw the ball to Trey McBride. You had Elijah Higgins catching passes. You saw other receivers. They threw the ball to run it. It just looked so much more open with Jacoby Brissett running it. Now, I do want to just it was Dallas, okay? Defense
must be said.
It was Dallas. But, man, if you've got Marvin Harrison and you have Trey McBride, you have to feel pretty good about the direction that they've chosen to go right now with Brissett against the high-flying Seahawks team that we may touch on a little bit later in the show.
We definitely will touch on that team. We just showed this quote from Jonathan Gannon when asked if it was injury or performance that Jacoby Brissett is starting. And he said, truthfully, both factors. I like what the offense is doing right now. As I mentioned, that is part of this. It's part of the whole story here. And we're going to also talk about under center work and how just important that is in the modern NFL here. That's for one of my data points later on here. But just to note, yards per game since Jacoby Brissett has started on under center passes, not play action, just under center period. Arizona ranks 10th in the NFL in that span. Now, they've also taken a boatload of sacks. They have the highest sack rate second highest sack rate on those plays. They're up there. So, I mean, that's part of the Jacoby Brissett thing. Like, he's going to take a lot of sacks because he doesn't have that mobility. So, their fourth highest sack rate on under center plays. But in terms of folks that are running with a lot of volume, they're taking more sacks. So that's part of the Brissett thing. He's not perfect, but he just allows them to access throws in the offense that Marvin Harrison is really good on. So I like your point about that. It wasn't force feeding Marvin Harrison, but Brissett was talking about it. I was watching the after the game interview, and he said, yeah, I came in here and I knew like Marv had that look in his eyes. I was going to go to him early and often, like, cause he was and Marvin has said, I knew I was part of the game plan, and I was really excited about that. So it's crazy that it took how many games into the fourth overall pick's career that it's like, all right, now it's time to feed him and make him a priority, but that's where we are. So I think it's good news for Marvin Harrison. Not a clean run out rest of season because it's still the Cardinals of it all, and they're facing the tough Seahawks defense this week, but definitely a bump up for these guys in Arizona, I think, and we'll see what happens with Kyler Murray going forward.
Let me ask you this, one quick thing. Do you think part of this decision as well was they really, really, really need to get a look at Marvin Harrison Jr., at Trey McBride? We need to see these guys operate, right? Like, this isn't about Brissett, and honestly, Matt, I don't think it's about Kyler. I think they know. Kyler's not a fit. It feels like this move was, we need to see what we have in this offense. We drafted Marv 4th overall. We've got Trey McBride that we've paid a lot of money to. Like, we need somebody in here that can operate this offense so we can truly find out if this is the wide receiver one of the future. This move definitely feels more like let's figure out which pieces of this offense we can move forward with, whether it's Gannon or somebody else. So I commend them for pulling the trigger on probably what was a tough sort of decision when you talk about money and optics, but this was the right move to see what you got in some of these other playmakers.
There's no question. This is an arranged marriage. Like, this is not the front office, the coaching staff that drafted nor gave Kyler Murray the contract extension. That was the previous regime, Cliff Kingsbury and Steve Keim. And you try the arranged marriage for a time, and eventually it doesn't work out. And Now you're going to try to find your own thing, and we'll see if that works out for Arizona. But I just think this has been coming for a little bit here. But you're right. They need to see if Marv can be that load-bearing wide receiver one. They need to see if Trey McBride can continue. I don't think they really need to see much more from Trey McBride, I think. But even like a Michael Wilson type, a guy that has not been productive to start his career, I think there's more meat on the bone there. Like, they need to see who some of these players are to see if they can keep this group around for the future and keep it moving here.